Alright guys, welcome back. BigPoppa T-Mo here. We're back on No Man's Land, playing a little FS22, doing kind of a struggle-ish map. And this is episode 14. We just bought the Meadow Roller, and we're going to test to see if this still works the same in 22 as it did in 19. Excuse me. One of the things about the Meadow Rollers, they were very, very useful in returning ground to its original state. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to unfold the roller. Which actually turns it sideways. And now it is operating as a meadow roller. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run over what used to be the original roads. Now they've been mowed, but they still have the stubble. And I might have to do this a different way because it might not get rid of the stubble this way. Might actually have to plow these roads first, but I want Alien Jim's original painted roads back on the map. Yeah, see, it's still leaving the stubble here. So that is not doing what I wanted it to do. But that's okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop the roller real quick. And we're going to go back in here. And I do have the field creator back on. So I can use a cultivator as a plow. So you can see this road just fine. But these guys are hidden, this road is hidden underneath the grass. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the cultivator, going to allow it to create fields. And we're going to plow this up real quick. We're going to go a little bit further than where the line is, and I'll show you if it works. You'll understand why in a moment. Now I don't want to do too god-awful much of this without knowing it's going to work, so I'm just going to come back in here and I'm going to get this little gap in between. Now, some people would look at this and they're like, well, that's just kind of a waste of time. You could have just painted it. Yeah, I could have. You are correct. Could have just painted the roads. But this was one of the tricks that I learned in 19, and I want to see if it works in 22. So we shall see. And if it doesn't work, then I will paint it. Alright, we're going to drop the cultivator there. Go back and pick up our meadow roller. Yeah, see that, so it doesn't do what it used to do. That's interesting. So now this just acts as a roller. That's unfortunate. This used to return this to its original state of ground. And by that, what it would do is it would turn this back into the original painted, but it would get rid of the grass and such that was there. So now it's just going to act as a seed roller. Unfortunate. So we're going to have to spend a little bit of cash to do some painting, which is really not my favorite thing in the world to do. Mainly because I'm not very good at it. Oops, I guess I should probably fold the roller up. Silly T-Mo. Alright, so what I need to do now is I need to go into the landscaping tool. And we need to go into painting. And we're going to need dirt. Need to make that bigger. Trying to switch between mouse and keyboard and controller here. And like I said, you guys can do whatever you want. I just like keeping the original roads where they originally were, where Alien Jim intended them to be. So I'm just going to paint these roads back in so that I can see them. Now, the reason I always liked that the meta roller would return the ground to its original layer was then you could always have an in-game method of coming in and plowing up the ground and then using a piece of equipment to put it back into the state that you wanted it to. This just kind of is a little immersion breaking for me. Because I don't think that, you know, in real life I'd be out there with a giant spray can in the sun, or the sky, spray painting my roads. So I'm going to have to figure out some way to do this with equipment. For future things. Gonna have to get rid of that tree too. All right. I think that'll be good enough for the moment. Now, since we have the cultivator on here, I think it's time to reestablish or to establish some new fields. I'm also going to have to figure out what to do about this field stone, because I do not have a stone picker just yet. Alright, I think right about there. I am going to utilize that hard edge to the best of my ability. Now, see, this is the problem that I have, is it's really hard to see where that road is with the grass. I just have to assume that this is going to be a safe spot. Might have to look in some mods, see if there's a very, very cheap stone picker. Or we just might have to wait until we got the money to buy a big one. We're definitely going to need it. I am still curious as to the long-term effects of stone on your fields. I'm gonna regret that little bump out. I will have regrets. There will be regrets. Reestablish our long line. Get this little section all plowed up. right. Do a couple over here, and this will give us a little bit more room to turn around. Alright, now we should be able to do a whole bunch of long straight lines. Straight-ish, I should say. And we'll have our second established field. I do love the look of nice freshly plowed soil. I can actually smell this. What this would smell like in real life. Now, when you play a map like No Man's Land, there's definitely a lot of extra steps you gotta take to get it, but I find it so much more rewarding to have built everything yourself. From cutting down the trees, clearing the lands, plowing the fields, figuring out how everything is just the way you want it. I find it very satisfying. Don't get me wrong, I do like playing on some of the bigger maps with lots of big fields and stuff like that, but I always prefer the organic shapes that come out of, you know, rounded edges and stuff like that to the big, just squared off ones. I get bored very easily with the big squared off fields. Just doing the same thing over and over again. So what I end up doing is I play those maps completely differently. I will hire a lot of workers on the big ones and let them do the vast majority of the tedious, monotonous stuff. You're getting four harvesters out there working at the same time and then just run the truck between them, run a grain cart. Whereas with this, pretty much do everything. Everybody has their own play style though. And there is no right or wrong way to play this game. I do find it funny that some people get all mad and bent out of shape about little things. Money mods in particular. Money mod seems to be the big point of contention in Farm Sim. The thing that I remind everybody is it's your dime, you spent it, play it however you want. You want to use money mods, power to you. If you don't, power to you. Remember, it is just a game. There is no way to actually win at Farm Sim. It's not like there's a giant corn stalk at the end of the game waiting to be beat. That would be kind of funny though. The Great Bean. A nice little field though. We're gonna have to figure out what to plant on it. Get it all in one pass. We did. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. This has been episode 14 of No Man's Land on Farm Sim 22. If you like what you saw, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing. It means the world to me. And if you haven't already, hit that notification, get notified when I post new content or go live. Until next time, go plow your own damn fields.